What's happening, everyone? My name is Adrian and welcome back to What the Pun. Big news, big exciting news. Guess what? I'm about to pick up the Golf R. So before I jump in and get started and go into all the details, I'm just going to pop inside and go through all the formalities and then we'll go through what's happened. Okay, everything's sorted out with the Chapmans now. And you're probably wondering why I have a hat on my head. So the moral of today's story is, well, like in life, there's many lessons to be learned, and today's moral of today's story is basically don't cheat on your barber. Alright, that's out of the way now. And so basically let's start with some first impressions of the Golf R, and starting off with maybe how the car handles. Actually, give me a second, let's sort out one thing before. Let's have a listen to it right now. So one thing that I said I was not going to do before, which is having the downpipe changed. So surprisingly, the downpipe did get changed, so which explains why just now and still now the car sounds just a tiny bit different. But anyways, let me get back onto the handling of the car. So first impressions, it's great, it's lovely being in a car that I am so familiar with, and that is pretty much where the old Golf R that I'm so familiar with pretty much ends. Just the familiarity of how it feels inside. And then where it's so different now, how the car handles, it's basically like having a new car. It's basically like having a new car. So it literally feels like it glides on the roads. It handles bends and turns so well now. Like it's night and day between the setup that it was before and the setup that it is now. Surprisingly, even though I've had a VWR RacingLine Suspension Kit fitted, I was expecting it to be a bit more harsher, but surprisingly it's not harsh at all. I think it's almost similar to the setup that it was before, and just handles so much better. I mean, I love it. And yeah, not harsh, handles so nicely. It just seems to drive so smooth now, and it's so easy to turn. Like before, I feel like it took now that it's got this setup on, it just feels so easy to be able to steer. The steering feels just that little bit easier to maneuver basically. But otherwise, let's go back onto the sound. So you may, earlier on, just then, you may have noticed that it may have sounded a bit louder from the last time you've been in the Golf R. And yes, the downpipe has been changed, and I'll leave it here for now. And in terms of the first impressions, that's about it. I'll probably go into a bit more detail later on, but for now, let's go over everything that's been changed in the Golf R in a bit more detail. Okay, so we're back in the garage, and I will basically go over everything that's taken place, well, everything that's happened with the Golf R whilst it's been away. But before I go over everything, I think it's only right that I take this moment to thank you to the Chapmans for really doing such an amazing job and putting this all together for me, honestly. Like, I have been seeing these guys for quite some time, even at their old unit. So way before I had the Golf R, I think it was a Polo GTI that I had. I had some work done with them as well. I had lowering springs and a few other bits with the Polo GTI. And then later on, I had the Mark 5 R32, which had a few bits that need to be done, and they sorted me out every single time. They did such a sound job, which is why I was so confident in leaving the Golf R with them, for them to do such an amazing job. But yeah, honestly, the team, they're so good, such honest, sound advice. But yeah, in regards to the Golf R, I know the original idea was for it to be a OEM Plus build, which has now kind of gone like 360 into a different direction. So what's happened? So I think basically the easiest way to put it is I got carried away. So now, instead of it being a OEM Plus build, this is basically a Stage 2 Plus build. So today I will basically, right now, I will basically go over what has taken place to make this a Stage 2 Plus build. And in regards to this being a Stage 2 Plus build, I'm hoping this can also be a blueprint for yourself if you're aiming to do the same thing as well, because in terms of what's been set up in the Golf R now, I would confidently say once it's been remapped, it'll produce the numbers at the top end of what a Stage 2 Plus for a Golf R should be capable of. Because in regards to your own setup, what you've done to the car to prep it for the different stages would result in different numbers. And in regards to what's been set up in the Golf R now, it should easily handle the top numbers for a Stage 2 Plus map, which is, I think, around hitting close to 380 brake, maybe at least 400, I think, in terms of torque, at least 400 or maybe above. But we'll find out. We'll find out soon when we get this done, when it gets mapped, and we'll have a better idea what numbers this is pushing. And I'm confident to say it should be the top end numbers for Stage 2 Plus, but we will see soon. But yes, so I'll go over what's happened in regards to this particular area. Though we can't see everything, I will be able to go over what has been carried out, as well as what I originally planned to be carried out. And then also just a quick overview of what's happened underneath. Nothing has really changed underneath in terms of handling. Everything I wanted to be done in terms of the handling, that has been done. Nothing extra. But in terms of what's the bulk of the changes is basically within the engine and its parts. Okay, so let's switch the camera around and go over what's going on. Welcome to the engine bay of the Golf R. So let's start off with the bits that we originally planned to have done. That has all been carried out. I would include some footage of the before and afters as well. But yeah, basically the valves have been worn up, blasted. It looked terrible before. I'm surprised how the engine was running at all. But yeah, that's all sorted and cleaned. Fuel injectors was tested and basically recovered, refurbed. One of them was down by about 40%, so that had to be replaced. Other thing, underneath, oil sump was removed, oil pickup pipe was removed, and oil pickup pipe was removed and replaced. And then the oil pump, a VIS, the brand is VIS, Freewheel, that has been fitted into the oil pump underneath. What next? Next parts, the next parts that wasn't the original idea was fuel pump. Fuel pump, this bad boy here basically. This bad boy here is the fuel pump. The internals have been upgraded with a VIS as well, VIS fuel pump upgrade components. which will help when going to stage 2 plus. And then also the cam follower, which is like a little almost thimble kind of looking thing, that has been replaced. It's more for preventative measures, because over time that can basically deteriorate, and if it gets to worst case scenario, it will be able to deteriorate to a point where it's sending abrasive parts into the wrong parts of the engine, which you don't want. So fuel pump has been sorted out, it's upgraded. The other thing that's different, there is a little, I think it's fuel pressure valve that has been upgraded with a, which we can't see to be honest. Well, there is a nice little shiny thing down here, which I would assume is that particular component, but that is upgraded with a RS3 fuel pressure valve. The other thing, which I also cannot show you, but believe me, it's been done, is the intercooler. And because we are going up to stage 2 plus, we want to be able to control or maintain temperatures for the car as well. So the intercooler has been upgraded. It is a Airtec intercooler, I believe. So yeah, I think I have covered, I believe I have covered everything here. So okay, so let's start off from the front underside. So alloy control arms as planned. So basically the full SuperPro kit has been changed. So a lot of bushing has been changed. Control arm, anti-roll bar front and back, drop links. I think that thing around here, the ball joint thingy, I think it's called ball joint thingy. Braided brake lines have been added. I think you can see it. But yeah, front side, that's most of it. Some of which you can't really see. But what else? So yeah, RacingLine shock stand springs. And let me see if I can show you the other bit under here. So with the exhaust, that's the new shiny part of it, because the downpipe has been changed, which has basically improved the acoustics experience of the car. I know it's not what I planned to, but it's all part of the stage 2 plus build. So yeah, like I said, got a bit carried away. And if you can see, basically similar kind of upgrades to the back of the car as well. Rear anti-roll bar, drop links, all that jazz. Okay, so in regards to the handling upgrades, that is all that's been carried out. So it's all went as planned in regards to handling upgrades. Most of the difference or the other bits that I got a little bit carried away with was basically all the stuff done in the engine. But like I mentioned, all this is to get the car ready for stage 2 plus. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is it from me this week. I know like a couple of videos ago or several videos ago, I did say this was going to be a OEM plus build. I got carried away and now it's a stage 2 plus build. But I hope everything in terms of I've gone through what's configured and put into this car now is helpful to yourself. Why? Because basically what's been put into this car now should have the car prepped and ready for stage 2 plus and pushing the top end figures that what you expect from a stage 2 plus. And me being me, going in doing these things, I never do things half-heartedly. So now gone in and put in all the possible, you know, the best solutions for the Golf R to be able to produce the best numbers at stage 2 plus. And if you're aiming to get your car ready for stage 2 plus, I hope this has inspired you, given you some ideas as to what you need to aim for in getting the car ready for good performance, good numbers for stage 2 plus. So in regards to next week, I will be taking a visit to Airtec Performance, where the next part of the upgrade story for this Golf R will take place. Hopefully no hiccups, it'll go smoothly, and we'll see what's going on. All right, so if you don't miss out, make sure to subscribe, and from me that'll be all. Thank you very much for tuning in this week. Love you all, take care, thank you, bye bye.